Alrighty, hello everyone. My name is Annie Pocklington. I work for the Washington Student Achievement Council, which oversees the Washington State Gear Up grant at your school. Today, Andrew and Eva are here to talk about Walla Walla University for another one of our virtual campus visits. Before we get started, a few reminders. Please turn off your camera and keep it off through the duration of this presentation. We also need you to change your name, so please use your first and last name as well as your school name. This is just for attendance, so if you're unable to do that, don't stress about it too much. You can go ahead and write your name into the chat and I will make sure to jot that down and get it to your Gear Up coordinator. You are muted for recording purposes, so if you have a question throughout our session today, go ahead and again type that in the chat and I will be reading them off to our guest at the end of the presentation. If we don't get to your question today or something comes up, a question or a wondering after this session, please reach out to either myself or one of our guests and we will make sure that you get the information that you're looking for. So this virtual visit series is set up for you to compare and contrast institutions based on your own personal needs. All of the institutions in Washington State are great, but they do provide different things for different students, just depending on what you're looking for. So be sure to think about what you'd like to study, what you want your daily life to look like, what housing options you need, and if you'd consider getting a job on or around campus. You'll also want to consider cost, of course, which does include financial aid opportunities. And then just make sure that you're considering anything else that's important to you becoming your best self while you attend college. So, this personal reflection is of utmost importance when figuring out where you want to go to school. Make sure that you take notes today. You can find guided reflection activities on our website. You can also explore institutions all across the state of Washington by checking out this interactive map by WACAN. I will drop both of these links into the chat once I pass things off to our guests. But first, I'm going to give you a big picture overview of Walla Walla University so you can begin situating yourself in your reflection today. So, Walla Walla University is located in College Place, Washington. As you can imagine, College Place is very close to Walla Walla, Washington. It's also about 3 hours from Spokane and about 4 hours from Seattle. Walla Walla University is a private university. And it's a smaller school, maybe small to mid-size, with between 1,000 and 2,000 students enrolled. So now that you know the basics, I'm going to pass it off to Andrew, our Walla Walla University expert.
All right, thank you, Annie. And I am going to share my screen here because we're going to start off with something. Let me grab where I'm going. Go. Can we all see that video on screen? Perfect.
Life is a story. It's a collection of people and places, moments and memories, ideas and spaces. All great stories must begin somewhere. Ours begins where the air is clear and where ideas, energy, and people do life together. Each chapter of our story is shaped by those we choose to do life with. Life in all its splendor. We find worship and wonder in the abundant beauty of the vibrant Pacific Northwest. And savor the warmth and energy of a small college town. This is our place. A place that fuels our search for answers to life's big questions. What do I believe? do I belong? Who will I become? Here, we discover and offer our gifts to the world, crossing hallways, states, and continents, with hearts and eyes tuned to the needs around us. Here, we celebrate the true, the beautiful, the divine. These are my people, and this is the place we gather. What's done together means more than what's done alone. Swerving, curving, scaling, soaring, exploring, performing, creating, innovating. Love and friendship here, sometimes unexpectedly. Here, we find ourselves known, seen, understood, welcomed. The belonging we yearn for, we freely give. Here, in the middle of nowhere, we find fellow travelers on the road to everywhere. This is life together. This is life.
All right. Well, welcome. My name is Andrew Perrin, and I am here today accompanied with Eva Wiggins here at Walla Walla University from our Guest Relations Department. And we are excited to be here with you. I'm going to throw another thing up here on the screen. I'm just going to put our main Walla Walla University website, and I think that you can all still see me in the chat window here. And so I'm going to share my screen up and put the Walla Walla University website up there, so at least you can see the main page as we're talking. And so Walla Walla University, as your Gear Up director, Annie, mentioned earlier, is located in Southwest Washington, and we are right, or Southeastern Washington, I apologize, and we're right on the border of Washington and Oregon there, going into Milton Freewater, Oregon. And at Walla Walla University, we have over 100 programs, different majors, degree tracks, things that you might be interested in, things ranging from your health professionals, like nursing, biology, pre-professional programs. If you're interested in pre-med or pre-dentistry, we have those tracks that can help students go on to their further education. Technology, automotive, and aviation, and we have graphic design, English, business, history. Basically, we have a whole smattering of things, you know, because we are a liberal arts university. And so we have a little bit to fit everybody. We do have some programs that we're known for very well, our biology, our nursing, and our engineering departments, and our business departments. Those are four of some of our probably more top programs that we offer here at Walla Walla. And a couple things outside of the educational track, and this is one of the things that makes, I believe, Walla Walla University fairly popular for the students that are here, but is the fact that it's not just about the academic programs, but it's also about the development, the student leadership and development. Eva's going to talk a little bit about that later, so I don't want to steal some of those things. But we do have this aspect of melding together an atmosphere here on our campus of academics, of social activity, of student development and leadership and spirituality, and putting that all together and giving somebody a whole experience here at Walla Walla. Within our academics as well, alongside that, I mean, we have our student missions program, and we have community service and outreach programs. We have a lot of options here at Walla Walla to get students engaged and invited into something greater. And what I mean by that is, you know, I've been on many campuses as a recruiter. Some are smaller, some are larger, and some are very large, and some are minute. But one of the things that I have found is there are some campuses that it's easier for students to become disengaged and a face in the crowd. And what I always tell students is if you're looking for anonymity, if you're looking for a place to disappear and where professors don't know you, and you don't join cohorts of students, and you don't join you don't start building those friendships here at college, Walla Walla is not probably going to be the best fit for you if that is an environment that you're looking for. We have roughly around 1,600 to 1,800 students here on our campus between our undergraduate and graduate programs. But with that, the ratio is roughly around 13-1 in our undergraduates, 13-1 with our professors to our students, or student to professor. But that allows our students to be hands-on and to be working and know their professors well, to get into groups of cohorts with their students in classes that never really cap more than 55 to 60. It's not uncommon your first year in college to have a lot of classes that, or several classes that might be some of your generals that a lot of students fit into. And so you might see 50 students or 60 students and maybe some of your undergraduate English courses or your general bio or general chem courses. Those you'll see a lot, but a lot greater population. But as you start to go forward, your sophomore, junior, and senior year in college, it's not uncommon to see class sizes of 20 to 30. And depending on how specialized that course is, it could be even 10 to 15 students in a class. And so there are lots of opportunities for you to be engaged with your professors, to be engaged with the students and your peers in your class as well. Walla Walla does that well. And I'm going to let Eva talk about that a little bit later as well, about students and their engagement towards each other and what that does and helps them and aids them in their career choices and what they do in their process of going through Walla Walla. So at Walla Walla, on the main page here, you see our main campus website. If you were to scroll down right here on our main site, wallawalla.edu, there's 3 links here right on the top, right in the middle. There's apply, there's financial aid, and there's areas of study. We also have our COVID-19 coronavirus WWU response. You're welcome to go to that. We list that right here. Just to clarify where we're at with Walla Walla University, we are taking precautions on our own campus. And we're doing our best to social distance and wearing masks and sanitizing. And we've even gone to the level of only 1 person per dorm room to help really keep the spread down and to a minimum. We don't, at Walla Walla University, there's one of the things that we don't have to worry about here is things like frat houses with major parties. That's actually something that we don't allow here on our campus. We have a no drinking policy on our campus. And we have found, as well as following studies, is that drinking does not help someone's their level of intellect in the terms of their ability to stay focused and to make good choices. And being an independent Christian college, that is something where we've drawn the line on. Where science backs it up and where studies back it up for education purposes, that for student safety and for making smart decision-making choices here on our campus, we want to do what's best for the greater whole. And so we do have a no drinking policy on campus that it's part of our code of conduct that students will sign prior to becoming a student. But with that being said, why I bring that up here is with COVID-19, that's one of the areas that we don't have to necessarily worry about that you might see at other large state universities and colleges with large party atmospheres and things that are taking place that are going to be more absent here on our campus. But we do take the COVID-19 response very seriously here to the point, like I mentioned, we're bringing down our dorm room numbers, our residence hall numbers. We're also making sure that we're socially distancing, and aren't we all? We're doing the same thing that I know you are all doing at your school. We're just doing it here also at Walla Walla University. But if you're on this website and you click on the areas of study, where that's going to take you is it'll take you to another website which has all of the degrees and program tracks and majors that we have at Walla Walla University. And so you can scroll down. If you're on your computer, you can do that now, and you can just take a look. Each of those are hyperlinks right here, the large green bold letters. So you can get an idea of everything that we offer, but then you can go and you can actually read more and find more into it. So over on the right-hand side, you'll see our minors, our education teaching endorsements for those that want to go into the areas of education, those that are searching for a 2-year program as opposed to a 4-year program. Those would be associate degrees, and those are listed here. And then our graduate program, those that would like to go on after you graduate college and get a master's. You can do that. We are beginning our doctoral program now, also in social work. We have a master's of social work and a doctoral program now, those of you that are interested in the social sciences. But this is where you would go to areas of study to look at what we offer at Walla Walla. Also on that same link, you can, if you'd like to get information from Walla Walla on a certain degree or major, there's 3 little buttons right here on the top right when you click on that areas of study. And there's visit, request info, and apply. Eva's going to talk about the visitation in a little bit, but requesting info is a great way for you to send us your email address and send us your address. And what we'll do is we'll actually send you information in the mail. We'll give you pamphlets on a lot of our programs and the things, a 4-year sketch of a lot of these degrees, where it tells you, okay, in year 1, this is what you would take in biology. And in year 2, this is what you would take in year 3 and year 4. So you can kind of get an outlook for all 4 years on campus. Eva, I want to talk about financial aid here in just a minute. But before I do, I'm going to talk about financial aid and a couple other aspects of the application process. But could you talk about student life, social life, and some of the things that happen here on campus that engage students together?
Yeah, I would love to. So Walla Walla University, something that's really unique. So I don't know if you caught earlier, Andrew really emphasized the fact that we have a 13-to-1 student to professor ratio. And I think that really embodies kind of what is so cool about Walla Walla. So we have, like you said, 1,500 to 1,800 students depending on the year, which gives you a smaller school feel while still being surrounded by a whole bunch of people. So it's really cool. Walla Walla University is known for being just like one of the friendliest places ever. I have friends that have transferred in from other universities that have said that Walla Walla was the friendliest place that they ever visited, and that's really what drew them to attend Walla Walla. So if that's something that you're wanting, if you're looking for something, somewhere where you can make friends and just meet a lot of people, that's something that Walla Walla really does have to offer. As far as student life, he also mentioned earlier that beyond just really good academic programs, that is also paired with leadership development opportunities, both in your academic programs, but also just on campus in general. So there's opportunities for students to really develop their leadership skills, but also I always like to emphasize that, but really it's what you're looking for. If you're somebody that doesn't necessarily want to get up front and lead out and stuff, be in clubs, be like presidents of this and that, you also have the opportunity to just lay back, make your friends, do your studies, and go through college that way. So there's no pressure at all, which is super nice because you get to make the college experience what you want it. But we have a super active student government on campus. It's called ASWU, which stands for Associated Students of Walla Walla University. It's completely student run. And they actually hire about 180 students. I think this year is what their numbers were. So they're the largest employer of students on campus. And they also run such a significant budget that they actually function kind of like a small business. So that's something that's really cool. They're super involved in campus life, campus activities, making sure that students have stuff to do. They love to feed us. It's always rumored that you never go hungry when you're at Walla Walla because there is food everywhere at every event multiple times a week, which is super awesome if you're a student. They also provide super awesome social activities throughout the week. We have anything from ASWU Outdoors, which you can go on rock climbing, mountain biking, backpacking, canoeing, whitewater rafting trips, anything like that. To ASWU Social, which puts on things like Battle of the Bands. So we have opportunities for students to make like a band with their friends and do covers of songs and perform in front of the student body. And it's super fun. It's like our own personal little concert. And just, I mean, that's like 2 of maybe 15 departments that ASWU has. We also have the Atlas on Campus, which is run by ASWU as well, which is our little campus like coffee shop cafe, which provides an awesome study environment. We have super cool clubs on campus. So I'll just talk about one just to kind of give you guys a little bit of a glimpse into what opportunities lie there. But we have Business Club is just one of them, which you don't have to be a business major to join that club. Just like chemistry, you don't have to be a chemistry major to join chemistry club. But this year, because of COVID, we're having to change things a little bit. Usually the clubs do a bunch of activities in the area, but right now there's just a whole bunch of giveaways. We've given away iPads and Apple Watches and I mean, Cash App, and I mean, there's just so many things, and student involvement is really important. And like I said, if you're looking to get involved, we love to have students bring new ideas. That's really encouraged here at Walla Walla, is for you to take advantage of what you're learning in school, but also what you have to offer to make Walla Walla University a better place after you leave. But if you're somebody that just wants to come and make friends, get your degree, there's no pressure for you to be in that leadership spotlight, if that makes sense. And then let's see, also as far as just super quick academics, something that's really cool that Walla Walla does encourage is they give us a lot of opportunities to network outside of just Walla Walla University. So our professors are amazing, and they really care about you and how you and opportunities are even after. They have a whole bunch of opportunities, networking for you to build your resume, get interview experience, also to talk with future employers and get internships, which really is super important when you're even leaving after you graduate. So that's just a little bit into campus life, what kind of there is to do around Walla Walla. You'll never run out of stuff to do here. There's always events happening, and you'll never run out of people to make friends with.
Thank you, Eva. I keep forgetting this day of muting and unmuting your microphones. I am I am not good at that. Thank you for giving us that overview of the academic social life, our student body, ASWU. Very similar to the ASB and SA of a high school program. And so moving into also, because I know we need to have some time for Q&A if some of you have questions, but I want to talk quickly about scholarships and entrance requirements. At Walla Walla University, the entrance requirement is a 2.5 GPA. And so it's important that you'll want to keep your GPA above that. And our scholarship level starts at a 3.0. And so when you have a 3.0 in scholarship, that earns you an automatic, and that's a cumulative unweighted GPA, and that earns you an $8,000 renewable scholarship for 4 years. So our scholarships range from $8,000 to $12,000 as a renewable scholarship. And that's a 4-year renewable scholarship. So if you had a 3.0 to a 3.24, for instance, that would be $32,000, but split up over 4 years, it's $8,000 a year. And so that goes all the way up to $12,000, which in the $12,000 mark begins at a 3.9 and goes up from there. Now, I do want to say this because I've had students look at me and they say, well, what's the point? I've had this happen several times where I've been in a classroom and they look at me and they kind of throw their papers aside and they walk away because their GPA might not be at a 3.0. But the reality is there's several different ways that you can get a scholarship at Walla Walla University. And I also want to say that most colleges and universities are going to give scholarshiping out based off of a student's GPA, ACT, SAT, or a combination of them. And so it is not uncommon to hear this conversation about getting scholarship dollars from an institution. So I will say that the three ways that we do it is through your GPA, your ACT, and SAT, and we do not require a combination of those three. So we don't require you to have a certain GPA matched with a certain score on an ACT or an SAT exam. We look at each of those three individually. So we'll base it off your GPA, and let's say you had a 2.9, and if our scholarships begin at a 3.0, you know, okay, I'm not going to make it with the 2.9 GPA. And so you study really hard for your ACT exam and you take it. And that ACT exam puts you into a category of getting a scholarship at Walla Walla University. And we will base it solely on your ACT then at that point. Now, let's say you take the SAT as well, and that puts you in even a higher category. How we work at Walla Walla is we will take the highest of whichever three come in. So if your GPA comes in at a 4.0, but your ACT comes in at a 16, we're going to take it off your whichever came in off your GPA, because your GPA puts you into a higher category. So I would just like to say, for those that are listening here and you sometimes feel disheartened perhaps because maybe you wonder what kind of scholarshiping is available to you, I just want to say, hear it from me, and it's coming from my heart, do not lose heart with this. I encourage you to not lose heart, because there are other ways and multiple ways of getting scholarship dollars. We offer it here at Walla Walla University of ways to earn that. And it's not just a do or die thing. And so I just want to leave that with you. And if you want to apply or get information, you're welcome to reach out. I'm going to throw another thing in here in the chat here in just a second before Annie takes back over. And what I put up right now is the visit form to visit Walla Walla University. And I'm going to put in the info link that you can click on to request us to send you information in the mail.
Awesome. Thank you both so much. Andrew, I'm really happy you brought up that point about financial aid and scholarship opportunities. Just as a reminder for students that are here today, if you do have these lingering doubts, the best thing that you can possibly do for yourself is to reach out and ask a question, whether that's to someone in your high school who knows a lot about preparing for college and career, or if it's to an institution that you're curious about. So as Andrew said, he just dropped a link in the chat where you can get more info or schedule a virtual visit. And we really encourage you to do that, especially if you have lingering questions or concerns about the probability of you going on and being successful in college, which we know all of you absolutely have the potential to do. So again, ask questions if you have them, because sometimes we've just gotten wrong information along the way, and we want to make sure that you are armed with all of the right information. It doesn't look like we have any questions in this chat. I saw you were able to answer a few as we went there, Andrew, so thank you for that. I guess then just one last reminder that Andrew dropped some links in the chat, so go ahead and get those while we're here. And a big thank you to Walla Walla University, to Andrew and Eva for being with us today. We really appreciate it. Otherwise, we will see you all at our next virtual visit on Thursday. So thank you so much.
Thank you.